Actually, Friday after I got home, I saw some CNN reports, and apparently Friday of this past week was one of the worst days ever for United States military in Iraq. There were several soldiers killed, and the reports that I saw, and this is what I wanted to throw out here for your contemplation. How many of you are familiar with, well, you should be, this is one of the most covered things in American history books in secondary school, the little big one, Custer's Last Stand. Did any of you see the CNN reports that compared what happened to the soldiers in Iraq to Custer's Last Stand? It's very well documented. One of the commanding officers in Iraq said this is one of the darkest days, and I'm paraphrasing here because I don't remember exactly how he said it. There's something to the effect that this is one of the darkest days in United States Army history, almost as dark as the day that Custer was savagely attacked by those Indians. The broadcast on CNN last Friday. Now, I feel sorry for the soldiers. I mean, my heart certainly indeed goes out to the soldiers and the families of those who were killed. But it's also very hard to sit there and take that comparison. That is the mindset that America still has about the indigenous people of this nation. One of the darkest days in the United States Army. Almost as dark. Not darker than, but he said almost as dark as the day that Custer was savagely killed. And he used the word savage. Savagely killed by those Indians. This is the 21st century. We haven't progressed very far beyond it. How do we even know we feel after this? Yeah. 2007. Yeah. And what shocked me, and I was sitting there, and half-heartedly paying attention to the reports. I mean, I hear this. I'm painting myself into a I don't care kind of corner, but it's not that I don't care. We hear this day and day and day, I hear, 4 more soldiers killed, 5 more soldiers killed, 2 more soldiers killed. It almost become numb to it, almost. And I hope that doesn't sound wrong. But, we're saturated by it every day. And then to hear that, of course, me, at that point, I was like, I can't believe what I just heard. Can't believe what I just heard. Not that the analogy was necessarily made, but that CNN, a major broadcast medium, broadcast that out there. And I know they didn't say it, and the reporter will say, I don't make the news, I just report the news. But still, how is it that in the 21st century, that most of the races in America, most of the ethnic groups in America have progressed at least to a point of some understanding, but when it comes to the American Indians, we're still fighting Custer. We're still fighting Custer.
I think the biggest reason they probably said is Custer was supposed to win that battle, go in there and annihilate the Indians. The fact that he lost is kind of like David beat Goliath. It wasn't supposed to happen, but it's just one of those things that since it happened, it wasn't supposed to. It's kind of like the underdog who beats the big chief. I mean, I don't remember the fact that if Custer attacked, the Indians attacked, that I don't know. But at the same time, to say it's one of the darkest days, almost like that. I mean, we've had 9/11, we've had Pearl Harbor, we've had Vietnam. I mean, I'm sorry, there's been darker and
Yeah, and this is, you can probably find it. I don't, who the commander was, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to that. Instead, I was just kind of half-heartedly sitting there, listening to the news, absorbing what little bit, caught my attention. And then when that came out, when those words were said, one of the darkest days in the American Army, it was the Army, the soldiers. It wasn't Marines or Special Forces. It was regular Army who were killed, and there were several. I think like 9 or 10, several, for that unit. And the reporter went on to say that it was a sneak attack. That was, and the illusion that was made was that the warriors who fought Custer snuck up on him. It was the other way around. It was the Custer who tried to do the sneaking up on him. But, and we'll examine the Custer battle. I've got a unit set aside for that a little bit later in the semester. I've got another documentary we'll watch. It examines it from a criminologist's point of view. It examines it as a crime scene investigator would examine a crime scene. And it tells a totally different story than what is popularized in American history books. But for me, that illusion that 21st century American commander to make an allusion to something that happened in the 19th century, that's, to me, that just kind of tells us that's how America still thinks about American Indians, is they still have us tucked back somewhere in the 19th century. And if that's the case, I guess that's progress, because, at least that beats the 15th century. But we still have a long, long way to go. If that's how America thinks about its indigenous people, we still have a long way to go.